Two queens of England, both named Elizabeth, both iconic, yet their lives could not have been more different. From childhood, family, personal choices, to their legacies, Elizabeth I and Elizabeth II stand on opposite sides of history. Let's begin with Elizabeth I. She was born in 1533, the daughter of King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. But her birth was not a cause for celebration. Henry VIII desperately wanted a son, not a daughter. Her mother was executed when Elizabeth was still a toddler, and her father's disappointment left a shadow over her childhood. She grew up with little affection, surrounded by court intrigue and uncertainty. Now compare that to Elizabeth II, born in 1926. She was the daughter of King George VI, a father who adored her regardless of her gender. George VI considered Elizabeth his pride, while her younger sister, Princess Margaret, was his joy. Elizabeth grew up in a warm, stable environment, loved and nurtured, quite the opposite of Elizabeth I's childhood. Elizabeth I never married. Known as the Virgin Queen, she feared that marriage would give away her power to a husband. Remaining single was both her strategy and her curse. It meant that she left no heir. When she died in 1603, the Tudor dynasty ended with her. Elizabeth II chose a very different path. She married Prince Philip in 1947, a partnership that lasted more than 7 decades until his death in 2021. Together, they had 4 children, including Charles, who now reigns as King Charles III. Elizabeth II was not only a queen, but also a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, ensuring the continuity of the Windsor dynasty. Their leadership styles were equally different. Elizabeth I was active, strong-willed, and charismatic. She took political decisions into her own hands, balanced the religious conflict between Catholics and Protestants, and led her country through one of its greatest military triumphs, the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. Under her rule, England began its first colonial ventures with figures like Sir Francis Drake and Sir Walter Raleigh. She was the Queen of Beginnings, the birth of English colonialism. Elizabeth II, by contrast, reigned in a constitutional monarchy where political power lay in the hands of Parliament and the Prime Minister. She remained above politics, serving instead as a symbol of stability and continuity. During her 70-year reign, she worked with 15 prime ministers, from Winston Churchill to Boris Johnson. And unlike Elizabeth I, she watched the empire shrink. Her reign was marked by decolonization, dozens of nations in Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean gaining independence. She was the Queen of Endings, the end of the British Empire. On a personal level, they could not have been more different. Elizabeth I lived in suspicion, cautious of betrayal, surrounded by rumors about her private life but never confirming any of them. She lived politically, almost never personally. Elizabeth II, however, had a deeply human side. She adored her corgis, was passionate about horses, and found joy in simple hobbies. Even as the most photographed woman in the world, she often appeared as a grandmotherly figure, disciplined, dignified, yet approachable. Their cultural legacies also diverge. Elizabeth I left behind the Elizabethan era, a golden age of art, theatre, and literature, with Shakespeare as its brightest star. Elizabeth II left a modern legacy. She was the first monarch to have her coronation broadcast on live television, and throughout her reign, the monarchy adapted to television, the internet, and social media. To sum it up, Elizabeth I was born unwanted by her father, lost her mother, never married, had no heir, and ended the Tudor line. Elizabeth II was born cherished, married happily, had children and grandchildren, and ensured the Windsor dynasty endured. Elizabeth I was a hands-on ruler who opened the door to colonialism. Elizabeth II was a symbolic monarch who oversaw the end of imperialism. Elizabeth I gave England the golden age of Shakespeare. Elizabeth II gave Britain the age of television and global media. Two queens. Two different eras. One built the foundations of power, the other preserved tradition in a modern world. They share a name, but their lives tell opposite stories. Elizabeth I, the Queen of Beginnings, and Elizabeth II, the Queen of Endings.